do their diligent job or do their job diligently within the light of justice and give the judgment as it should have been, and then allow the Nigerian government to as they have always done, keep Onyendu where they wanted to keep him, but at least let the judgment be in the light of justice. But that did not happen. And Omotosho must face the consequence of what he heaved upon himself. On the issues of updates, I have restrained myself several times solely because Onyendu asked me to do so. That is before he was taken away and moved to Sokoto. However, given the current situation, I believe I owe it to the world to speak openly. There is overwhelming concern, both home and abroad, regarding Onyendu's legal team. People constantly reach out to me, asking me whether certain reports they read on social media are true. My simple answer, my honest response, has often been that I do not know, simply because no one is updating me. Since my husband was transferred to Sokoto, the conduct of some of his legal team has been highly unprofessional and uncivilized. I believe I owe this openness to the people because both Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and I belong to the people. I have a legal right to take a step to ensure that I secure the release of my husband. But first, I want the world to ask Barrister Aloy Ejimako why he does not give me updates. On the 17th of July, 2024, I asked him why I was not informed about my husband's health situation and why I had to learn from the social media platform that my husband had passed out. The response I got hit me. His response was that he did not want to upset me. By speaking to me, claiming that I do not like him. I asked him where that notion came from. How is it that I don't like you? Where is that coming from? And he referred me to messages from 2021. He said to me, I do not delete my messages. You can go and check in 2020. And I don't remember ever telling Aloy that I do not like him. So I told him clearly that I do not have time for petty behavior. Since he claimed he does not delete his chat, I asked him to screenshot the alleged message and send it to me. Otherwise, I requested that he simply do his duty by updating me after visiting my husband. Mind you, he never did. Up till today. Furthermore, in August 2024, Nnamdi Kanu and I visited my husband on 5 different occasions. Not once, even though I think Onyendu would tell him that we're coming and he would put our name across to the DSS. Not once during those visits did I see Barrister Aloy, because I had wanted to complain about him in his presence. I wanted to complain to Onyendu in his presence, but he was never present. He didn't come. He didn't visit. We did not see him. So I informed Onyendu of this, and Onyendu assured me that he would ensure I received updates through another lawyer. But since Onyendu was transferred to Sokoto, I have neither heard from nor received any update from him, who claimed to be running errands for my husband. At this point, I would like to briefly recount how Barrister Joffer came to be involved in this case. I also get a lot of buzz and calls and some insults why Barrister Joffer was taken out and all sorts. All of that are out there in the open. It's important that we try to inquire or reference previous broadcasts that I have been on. It is a slight digression, but it is very important. In 2015, while I was pregnant, Onyendu was taken. I nearly lost Nnamdi Kanu. I nearly miscarried that pregnancy. So when Onyendu was taken, Uche Mefor brought in his friend called Obeta. And my mother-in-law brought, I can't remember his name now, another lawyer. So we were in communication, and I said to Obeta that my mother-in-law brought a lawyer and that I would like him to wait for the lawyer. In fact, I told the lawyer that my mother-in-law brought to wait for Obeta that he's yet to arrive Abuja. Because I like to work in uniform. I don't like to work in silos. Part of my job is to identify where there are silos and bridge the gap by creating cross-functional departments or cross-functional flow between departments. So I understand the power in teamwork, and I always stand on teamwork, regardless whether I like you or not. Most of you here, you go to work. Some of you don't like your managers. Some of you don't like your colleagues, but you have to produce a report. Perhaps you two have to work together, or you have to submit a report to someone you don't like. You have to do it anyway, because you are there to attain a goal. So regardless whether you like that person or not, that job must be done, or you'll be sacked. So Ebule got connected. I can't remember the barrister's name. It keeps flying off now. He got in contact and met with Obeta. And whilst that was going on, Barrister Gabriel Ebule contacted me, saying that he He spoke with Onyendu. He saw Onyendu, that the DSS brought Onyendu to court. They were trying to convict him that same day. But Ebule walked up to Onyendu and said, I think I know you. So Onyendu said to him, can you defend me? And he said yes. And he got a bail right there for Onyendu that same day. So Onyendu said to him, you will contact my wife, tell her that I have been given a bail, this, that. So when Ebule contacted me, I said to him that Obeta is on his way, and the lawyer that my mother-in-law brought was also on his way. So the three of them can meet and work together. And I have absolutely, all I wanted was my husband to be released, safe, and unharmed. Even though Ebule got a bail for Onyendu, the DSS continued to hold him. That is not, it's not a new story. They always do that. So as I coordinated all three of them because I believe strongly in the power of teamwork, Obeta said he was visiting my village. So after that visitation, he stopped giving me updates. Obeta stopped giving me updates and began speaking to me in a disparaging and unprofessional manner. As a result, I asked him to step aside. He later apologized, claiming he had been misled by my in-laws. That was what he said. I don't know, and I didn't care to know, and I did not want to listen to what he had to say. I told him clearly that he had crossed the line and that I no longer wanted him involved. I made it clear that I did not care what he was told and did not want to know. But I made him to even be more mad at me. He was mad at me. But I took the matter to the then DOS, headed by Mazio Miu Miu. They eventually understood the game Obeta was playing and upheld the decision that he should step aside. To cut the long story short, I sent my father. He went round and he found another barrister who you know today as Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, to whom I gave power of attorney, and that marked the beginning of the real legal battle. I want it publicly stated that because I brought in a lawyer, I was disowned by my husband's family and IPOB. It is on, I think, some newspaper or The Guardian. I can't remember which one exactly, but some people have the link or the link to that. Please, can you share that link? Where I was humiliated and insulted, a pregnant woman going insane, running and fighting for the safety of her husband. That was a newspaper publication that I have been disowned by Uchemefo and the rest of them and IPOB because I got a new lawyer. So imagine what I went through at that time. A lot of people do not know my story because I am always a very quiet person. But I think it is high time that anything that bothers me, because currently I am unwell. I have just had a major surgery and I have not even healed. I can't even heal properly because I am having to face all of these situations and circumstances all by myself, raising a young, vibrant 9-year-old boy on my own. I have never had any heart problem. I have never had any heart or high blood pressure, regardless everything that I have gone through in life. But recently, I am beginning to have that, and that is not a joke. Therefore, any single tiny bit of stress, I will bring it to the people so they can help me and address it before I lose my life. And when I lose my life, there is nobody to look after Nabikem. So for the state of my mental health, I have to be as careful as I can be. I will stop there for now. But what I want Barrister Aloy to tell me is if he sees Obeta anywhere around here. As he continues to disrespect and disregard me, so shall it be unto him. I do not care what you are told. I do not care what you want to know or what it is you know. You do not need me to like you, nor do I need you to like me. You are here to do a job. Simply do your job professionally and all will be well between us, as Barrister Ejiofor did. Had there been unity among the DOS and the legal team, the murderous terrorist in Finland called Simon Ekpa, this is the first time I am mentioning that midget's name, would not have killed our people. The crimes committed by that boy and his so-called government in exile and liberation mad army was used to pass judgment against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I hope you heard this directly from the bishop who visited Onyendu, Bishop Ike Egwono. You were all warned that this boy was sent to indict Onyendu on behalf of the government. Now, where are all of them? Some blindly followed him, shouting and using an imbecilic slang, woko woko woto woto. They called themselves several names, automated fools, automated what? Automated pilots, something like that. Now, where are they? If the DOS had not stood firm, upholding the legacy of IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as structured by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we would have been singing a song of pain and agony today. The world would have been looking at IPOB as a terrorist organization while someone had infiltrated the very people who are meant to serve justice, to uphold it and recognize it when they see it. In my next teaching, I will address people who sabotage freedom fighting movements and what usually happens to them in many forms across history and contexts, not just freedom fighting, but in other areas of life. Before I leave you tonight, I want to speak not to institutions, not to governments, but to human conscience. When history looks back at moments like this, it is not, or it will not ask who was powerful. It will not ask who was more braggadocious. It will ask who was humane and who chose courage over silence. To those planning to leave IPOB because Onyendu is incarcerated, shame on you. You came to behold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and have chosen to abandon him now that he needs you most. Now that you must stand and uphold IPOB by whatever means, men of fickle minds. That is what you are. If that is why you're leaving IPOB, this is the time for you to stand. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not asking for special treatment. He is asking for life. He is asking for justice and for safety. He's asking for the basic dignity guaranteed to every human being under international law and moral order. And as his wife, I carry a weight no document can capture. The knowledge that the place where he is held today places his life in danger. And so tonight, with clarity and resolve, I say this. A government does not lose authority by protecting life. It loses legitimacy when it endangers it. To the international community, this is not a distant story. It is out there. Everyone is on top of it. You can see the travesty of justice. You can see the manipulation. You can see the law upon which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was tried. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had the right to be shown the law upon which he was tried. But Omotosho refused that. To the faith leaders, if the sanctity of life is sacred, then it must be defended, even when it is inconvenient. To humanitarian institutions, your mandate exists for moments exactly like this. And to every ordinary human being listening to me now, you may not wear a title, but you carry something greater, a conscience. Please use it to speak. Use it to share this message and demand accountability. Stand gently but firmly for what is right. And I believe deeply that justice is not defeated. It is only delayed. I believe that no prison wall is stronger than truth. No silence louder than conscience. And injustice, no injustice can last eternal when humanity refuses to look away. So tonight I place this appeal into the hands of the world, not with bitterness. I don't have any hatred. Through the power of yin and yang, I can understand where people come from, where things happen. But the most important step is the step that we take to make it better, to reflect and turn around. May history record that when a life was endangered, the world chose to listen. I thank every Nigerian who is writing and speaking and pushing and pointing to this injustice. Thank you for our people who have stood their ground and stand for that which they believe in. Thank you, everyone. As I said, I will endeavor to continue, I will endeavor to bring updates, next campaign, whatever it is that we need to roll out, any step we need to roll out, that will be channeled through the appropriate source, the DOS and the rest of the leadership. They will have that sorted. Thank you, everyone, for standing with me to choose for life and justice. What we do right now will be our legacy. For we will look on this moment, or for when we look on this moment, in the future when we look back and see this moment, it will either fill us with great pride or great shame. And I pray we do not take the path that will fill us with great shame. Rather, let us take the path that will fill us with great pride. Thank you. From me, from here, it is good night. God bless you.